Hi, it's Tuesday evening, and you know what that means? It's the AV Life podcast. And this is Nancy Blanchard with Bose Professional here. You are watching and listening to this evening's AV Life.
And I'm your host, Tim Van Wert from Rutgers University here in New Jersey, where our senator, and I want to get political, but this was pretty awesome no matter how you look at it. Our senator, Cory Booker, just set the record for longest speech on the Senate floor at over 24 hours. I think it was 25 hours. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So, way to go, Senator Booker. And you are watching and listening to the AV Life. And I'm sorry. So if there's somebody out there that's listening and they're like, "Oh, I don't like Cory Booker," well, I'm sorry. Like, I'm proud of my senator for standing up there and doing that.
How
I
did he
think
do
I
that for 24 hours?
so it's interesting because I had to read into this because I wasn't, and it's not technically a filibuster. I did research into that too, but it is at the longest speech on the floor, and he managed to disrupt activity for a full day on the Senate floor. Actually, I guess technically he disrupted it for 2 days between yesterday and today. But he's allowed to stay up there and keep speaking. He's able to yield his time to another senator. So that senator can speak for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. So that gives him an opportunity to take a breather, go use the bathroom, whatever he's got to do, and then come back and then pick up again from there. So I happened to be up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I I didn't even know this was happening. So 1 o'clock this morning, I was like kind of just doom scrolling, as it were, and I stumbled across it. It's like, oh, Senator Booker is, speaking, and he's been up there for 5 hours now, and I'm like, 5 hours, like, and yeah, sure enough, there he was live, just doing his thing. And so, but I don't want to dig too. We don't usually dig deep into the politics, but I thought that was something worth noting that there's some crazy stuff happening in the Senate. So, yeah, so that that's like I feel like that's almost a Jersey thing to do anyhow. Like, I feel like there are people I know that would they would just get up there and start talking in front of people and not stop.
Well,
I'm not
that's
one.
a
I'm
lot.
not one of them, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but
Well,
yeah, but yeah. So
April Fool's
otherwise,
Day.
April Fool's, yeah, and that was not a joke though, folks. This is April Fool's here, but we're not fooling around with the things we're talking about tonight. How you been doing, Nancy? Just we'll get on more lighthearted topics.
Yeah, I'm good. Just catching up. I was away for a week on the road
Hmm.
um, in Canada, back home.
Oh, that
I
must
got
have been nice.
to see a little bit of my son at Mohawk College and took a great big luggage to pack all of his stuff because he's decided he's not returning.
Oh,
So lots of stuff, and I got some consultant meetings in, which that was good, and then the HETMA event.
well, yeah, we'll get to that in just a little bit. That
Yeah,
was, yeah. So that's cool. I'm glad you were able to get over there and spend some extra time as well. It's
yeah. Well,
I I was like, I haven't been up that way in years. Like, my parents took us to Niagara Falls like when we were younger, but like, I mean, that's easily
yeah,
30 years ago at this point. So
yeah. No, I think that's the most that I've been in Canada since I moved over here. Because last spring was taking him to Vancouver and Toronto for college tours. Then it was moving
mm,
him in at the end of August in Ontario, and now it's preparing to move him out. So So yeah, they're in their final exams, but oh my gosh, Tim, it was friggin' cold.
oh yeah.
Now I
Oh
know
yeah.
why I will never live there. That wind chill factor and the wind,
Oh.
I mean, it was beyond belief. And in
Mhm.
one day, we had rain, we had hail, we had snow flurries. Then we went back to rain. So I got it all.
That's crazy. Well, it wasn't much better here in New Jersey either. And yes, I know the high quality content that everyone comes in here to. We're talking about weather, but um, so we had a baseball game for my son on Saturday evening. It was like a 4 o'clock, like a late afternoon game, and we made it through. It must have been around 5:30. It was 80 degrees on Saturday here in New Jersey. It was sunny. It was beautiful. Then 5:30 hits. This cold north wind comes out of nowhere and drops it 20 degrees. And like everybody was out, we were all in t-shirts and shorts, and we were all like real comfortable. All of a sudden, people are like pulling out their hoodies and they're getting all dressed, and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't bring my hoodie, so I'm sitting there crossing my arms on the sideline, just trying to, because I'm managing the team, and I'm just trying to keep myself warm because it went from 80 to like 60 in like 5 minutes. It was wild.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and it's like Mother Nature just can't make up her mind right now. Like
No.
that's yeah. And then we had
And
we had crazy rain and thunder last night. It was
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, it's been
Excuse me.
raining here since last night, just constant. So 2 days I've not been able to go out for a walk to get some fresh air.
Hmm.
And the bonus, I guess, with the Ontario weather is that last spring I bought my investment from Canada Goose in Vancouver
Hmm.
and brought it with me, and it's like another person. And that thing is warm. That is good quality jacket. So
Nice.
so that kind of made it because I was happy for the investment I made, which they are an investment.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Yeah. But yeah, they're worth it. That's always I always feel like especially when it comes to outerwear like that, like if you're going to spend the money, make sure it's like worth it. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, those companies, they usually do a pretty good job with that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine walking out and then having it. Oh, this coat doesn't keep me as warm as I thought it was going to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it was, like I said, it was good. It was great to even my alumni was there. My university, Wilfrid Laurier, got to
Cool.
talk to him, and that was kind of exciting because I knew exactly the buildings that he was talking about
Hmm.
when talking about technology and what they're using and things. And then there were two guys from Georgetown University, right
Yeah.
from DC, that came in,
Hmm.
as well as University at Buffalo. So what I felt is that there was more local universities and colleges that attended this.
That's great, and that's what we always aim for with that. And this is a perfect segue. Thank you, Nancy. We're gonna roll right into this.
Well, here.
That's always the hope with the HETMA Roadshow, is that we're gonna bring the people to you, like, and that the local colleges and universities are going to be the ones that like really take advantage of that free event and be able to be there and get the FaceTime with
Yeah.
the manufacturers that they probably don't normally get to hang out with. So
Yeah. There were 32 vendors.
that's amazing.
So you think that people came all the way from like St. Catharines, Ontario. So, you've got like a couple hours drive there, especially with the traffic and things.
Hmm.
But yeah, with having 32 vendors, that's absolutely right.
Right.
How are they going to have that chance? And you know what? I begin to wonder if this is an event that is greatly needed that they might not have.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's what we found in Arizona. Like that's when Ryan did the first roadshow out there last year. It was so well received, and so well received by all the local universities that were there. So there was definitely a need, because I mean, I guess unless you're like in Phoenix or you're in well, like Flagstaff, I guess would be another like bigger city. Like when are you going to get around to seeing some of these folks, and how
Yeah.
often? And no offense to the folks in Arizona, but like Phoenix isn't exactly a major market either. Like, I'm not trying to downplay Phoenix, but that's,
Yeah.
you know, um, I on the other hand, I've got New York right here. So like
Yeah.
I always have folks flying through or close by to be able to, hey, I'm in the area. And that literally just happened today. I got Alicia Henley and Aaron, Andrew Kornstein from Sennheiser stopping by. They literally messaged me yesterday and were like, hey, we're going to swing by. I was like, all right, great. So it's like, I'm fortunate enough to get those, those
Yeah.
last minute things. So yeah, I mean, if it's that well received, maybe a different university in Toronto, but that could definitely be something that HETMA looks into without as a I don't want to speak for the organization, but I don't speak for the organization. I could see that being another, good stop, again for the
Yeah.
roadshow.
Yeah.
So,
And they did a tour, and what was neat is this is either the first or it's the second sustainable project building that architects and engineers from all over the world have flown in to see because
mm,
there's nothing like it. So they used timber, it's called Timberlost. They used timber from Quebec,
mm,
um, and in building, like literally sustainability, so that there's sensors and things, so they can have windows open, and if all of a sudden the weather has changed, they'll be alerted to close the windows, and then the internal installation system, I guess, will kick in.
mm-hmm,
But there's no, like I said, it's amazing, and to go through, and they're not finished with it,
mm,
but their facilities person was the one, she talked about it beforehand, so it, gave you an idea, and then once you went through the tour, then you got to see, and like I said, the construction people were walking around there, but it's a really neat installation.
mm,
So, and I think, I don't know if more and more, I mean, they had to work with the Ontario government, because the Ontario government, I think, was a little bit nervous about, the sustainability of it. But then once they started explaining it, then, they started getting sign off and things. So it's a place to talk about. And George Brown College is on the water. It's on Lake
mm.
Ontario, so it looks like it's a fairly new campus. Although I think it's been there for 15 years or so.
Oh wow.
10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's nice because you have the trail there along Lake Ontario. It's down close to downtown, that it's walkable.
Hmm.
So they've got a great location.
That's cool. That's awesome. And see, I always like universities that have those like unique locations.
Yeah.
I our old crewmate James James. Wow, I was just looking at his post. Um, James Stockton used to have, or I think they still do have a casino. They took over one of the casinos in Atlantic City, so it's on the beach. I believe
Oh,
it's for their hospitality program. So they have the
yeah.
full facility that they need. I just thought that's cool that they have like an actual real life location to be able to teach out of, because I think that's when you look at it from a pedagogical standpoint, that is like huge, like to be
Yeah.
able to have that immersive education experience. And that, so yeah, but any unique location like that too is just, it sets your university aside, I think.
Yeah. And I wonder, because I had visited OCAD, which is the Ontario College of Design, downtown Toronto, as I
Mm,
said last year, is everything was concrete. And it's the
mm,
same with this one, is that it's concrete. And I don't
mm.
know if that's like a fad or what, because
I
it's not my thing.
Yeah, no, I've kind of noticed that too. Like the last few buildings that Rutgers has put up have been very solid materials, I guess is probably the best way of putting it. Like when we did our academic building, this is going on 7 years now. They started doing the hallways and things like that, and they were like this slate that was like gray. It wasn't slate, but it kind of had that coloring and that
Yeah.
that texture. Um, they did most of the hallways and everything like that, but then they did one different section in carpet, and the carpeted section, it is amazing to me as
Yeah.
a like as an AV guy, like from a sound perspective, it just sounds so much better being in that hallway because
Yeah.
like you don't have the the reverberation and everything like that. So like don't get me wrong, the rest of the building looks great. Like the tile looks great, but like acoustically, the area where the carpet is is great. Like I just love it because it doesn't sound as loud and it feels more warm, I guess, even though it's just carpet and it's the same color, like just the the I'm sure there's science behind it, but
Yeah.
that's the lack of sound in that area just makes it a very calm environment.
Yeah. Do you know
Um,
what I just thought of?
mm,
I wonder if they have the concrete, the same with OCAD because of the winters with the salt, because you track salt in.
oh, maybe
Maybe it's easier to clean.
possible. That is very possible.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I will say, yeah, that's in general. I know tiles and things like that are easier to clean. Like, yeah, you just bring over your ride-on scrubber, and you know, because we got those because there's lots of floors to cover. But yeah, the cleaning crew will take care of that in no time. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably easier to mop that up and get it out of there than trying to shampoo and extract salt out of carpet. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably there was probably some logic put into that. You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And the setup, it was kind of neat because they were doing like a 2-minute speed pitch
Mm,
from each vendor. So we all gathered into the main seating area where there were tables and you eat and that. And I was the fourth, fifth one up. And so they said you have 2 minutes. And they said, it'll go by quickly. So, I'm trying to think about what I want to say and that. And I get up there and there's time. And I keep looking over at Chris from University of Guelph because he's the timer. And he's like, you still got a minute and so. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So after that, it started becoming a competitive game with the rest of the vendors as to who could be the fastest to say what they had to say and stop. And I think we got down to like somebody did it for 32 seconds or something like that.
wow.
So it was no more of, hey, well, you've got 2 minutes. They were like, okay, I got to beat the next person.
That's funny. Well, I mean, that's what they always tell you. You gotta, and that's kind of what I've worked on with like HETMA is like, what's your 30-second elevator pitch? You know, like that.
Yeah.
That's always what it's been. It's like, what's that time from when the elevator doors close to getting to the next floor or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
So that's funny though, that they got very competitive about that. That's a
Yeah.
really great idea. I like that. Cause you sometimes you see, especially you said there were 32 different vendors.
Yeah.
So, if you think about that, like you see a list of vendors, if you don't recognize some of those names, like, yeah, we've all heard of Bose, we've heard of Sennheiser, we've heard of Epson, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I also had a meeting with Absen,
Yeah.
the display folks. And I had seen them at Infocom. Like I saw their booth and everything like that. But like they're not like one of those immediate companies that like if I had seen it, I would have been like, oh wait, I know that, but like why do I know that? And that 2-minute pitch would have like brought it right back to me, being like, okay, now I remember all those
Yeah.
things. Or
The one thing
now
that
I yeah.
yeah, sorry, I was gonna say the one thing that they need to consider for the
Mm,
future is putting a timer, some type of display at the back of the room for us vendors because
mm,
you had to keep turning and looking at Chris, who
mhm.
was at the stand right beside you. So
Okay.
that's what I was saying. You weren't sure how long you had left because I can talk. And I was finding that I was trying not to talk because I didn't want to go over time.
Right.
But we did that. We did the tour, like I said, of
Hmm.
Limerton building. Another cool thing is that that building is where they'll have the architectural students.
Mm,
So they'll be involved in all of the not makings, the the censoring, the whatever it's called. I'm trying to explain of the building. Like the
mm.
environment internally.
Okay.
So they're being, introduced to sustainability
Mm.
for, like in their future, whomever, wherever they go to work,
Oh,
whatever
that's cool.
projects they're working on and that. I thought that's good. That's
Yeah.
great experience for them.
Oh yeah.
Sort of like a co-op intern thing.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, because then you get to see what you're learning and getting to do it in real time, essentially. And it's already on your campus, which I can't even.
Yeah.
That's you don't have to travel for an internship.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But and you know what? New construction has always been one of my favorite things to do. So the fact that like, yeah, you got to see that, that's awesome.
oh, as you're walking through and it's got
Yeah,
that new build smell,
that new build smell, or
that
like
wood.
you see, especially like if you've seen the project from the very beginning, like where they have the you have the drawings from the architect, and then you get the renderings, and then you see it like starting to come together in real life, and you see the cables being pulled and everything like that, and then all of a sudden the walls close up, and then you put the gate. Oh, it's just so satisfying about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we digress a little bit. So I so overall, I mean, it sounds like it was a great event. Like the feedback I saw online was very positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, did was it without getting anyone in trouble? Like, was it definitely a worthwhile roadshow event?
Yes, it was. It was
Okay.
well organized, and like I said, those extra little things of doing the tour and seeing the new building, but explaining the history, how it came about, what issues, challenges that they had. It was very interesting. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's very cool. I would love to see another event out there. Now, I mean, I'd love to see another event come closer to Jersey, but
Well, we got Troy's pig roast
the pig.
happening at Northwestern University,
That's
July
true.
11th.
July 11th. There you go. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a little rough for me to leave New Jersey for Chicago in the middle of July, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll find a cheap flight and like hop out and hop back in.
Yeah. But, yeah, I guess you guys don't have any road shows planned past the summertime, I guess?
Not as yet. We would probably, I mean, that conversation now that Toronto is done, we'll probably start having that conversation as to
Yeah.
who the next round is going to be. So that we will, maybe we'll probably do them like maybe closer to like quarterly, and then that
Yeah.
way, we're not overdoing it and things like that. And because we've got Infocom coming up. So,
Hmm.
and that's gonna be a fun event. And we've got the Higher Ed AV Awards on Monday night, and I believe nominations and all that are still open. So
Yeah.
get out there and nominate your favorite higher ed person or project, or make sure you get that involved. You could also sign up for the HETMA Education Summit, which is Monday and Tuesday of the week of Infocom. You could register for that through your Infocom your registration, and then you also get the Higher Ed AV Awards included on Monday night. So, or you could just buy your ticket into the Higher Ed AV Awards and just join us for a night of fun and excitement. I was sharing some ideas with Joe just the other day about how we wanted to do some things. So it's gonna be a lot of fun this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I was reading some of the what some of the sessions are gonna be, and, I've gotta tell you, they sound really good.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for everything. Um, it's just in general, like so we were talking about this right before we got on. Like, I've been with the organization since the beginning, and every year it's new and exciting for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's we're constantly reinventing how we do the events and how we
Yeah.
do like the virtual conference in February. And so it's not it's there's never a dull moment of, oh, we're doing that again. It's like, oh, we're doing
Oh,
no,
yeah.
we're not like that. That's not the HETMA style. So, it's it's comforting to see that happen, and then it's also like exciting to see that happen at the same time. Um, Knowing that we're just staying on the forefront of everything. So,
Yeah. Well, you're bringing a fresh experience each
mhm,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Orlando. I love Orlando. Like, I would go if Infocom was in Orlando every year, I'd be 100% in. No, no.
Yeah.
See, I can't.
You don't have like this to deal with.
Well, that's true. I don't have that.
Yeah.
I deal with the humidity already in New Jersey, so it's it's just trading additional heat is what it is. I mean, and you know my love for Disney, so that's why. Like Disney World is my home away from home. So I'm looking forward to all that.
Well,
So
that's
yeah.
the funny thing. My Disney cruise, so we're flying at the end of April, and we're gonna spend a couple days in Walt Disney World
Hmm.
and, Epcot, and then we get on the cruise, do the transatlantic, and within what, just over a month, I'm back in Orlando again for InfoComm, so I'm getting my fair share.
Yeah, that was me. Um, oh, when was that? Was that last? No, what was it? Last Infocom? Like I flew down for Infocom. Oh no, that's what it was. It was the October Infocom of 21.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I flew down for Infocom. I came back home. We had like 4 days, and I got in a car and drove back to Orlando for my family vacation that year. So I was down in Orlando for like 2 weeks
Yeah.
out of October. It's like I could have declared myself as a Florida resident for 1 month, It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like it's just wild how it works out like that. I should have bought an annual pass that year. That's what I should have done.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
didn't we didn't get over there. We didn't really get over to that area during that Infocom. Plus you had that's what all the there was all the restrictions, like where you
Yeah.
had to do your park reservations and you
They're
know
still doing that.
not no Orlando World, I think has cleared that already. I think they
Uh, when I
or
was
you're out
buying
of the
the
park
tickets,
hopper.
if you
Yeah.
were staying at a resort, then no, you didn't have to. But
Oh,
if you aren't, then you have to.
see, and that's why, because I always stay on property.
Yeah. And 2 days is a real and no park hopper is a
Uh,
real zinger in your pocket. I can't believe how expensive the tickets are.
mhm. Oh, well, that's why, like, if we're gonna go, like, we go for 5 days, like, we try to do that way. It also leaves us time to actually do things in the parks and, um, I mean, we're Star Wars people, we're Toy Story people, so like we spend time in those areas, and Hollywood Studios is one of our favorite, and so is actually they're all our favorite parks. But like I love Galaxy's Edge, like, and I love Hollywood Studios in general, just because I always think it's a little bit more of the edgier park out of
Yeah.
all of them. So yeah,
And I go to Epcot to drink around the world.
well, we do that too, but. Mm. Sorry, I was taking a drink there. Not non-alcoholic tonight, but um, we well, actually, I do enjoy going for the food and wine festival at Epcot, because then you get extra of the things that you already drinking around the world and eating around the world for. So, um, some of my favorite things were like the mac and cheese that they have. Like they have one station that just does all different types of mac and cheese, and it's
Oh,
so
wow.
good. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it. We might actually end up going in the spring, which we've never done. Like my wife and I, like we were kind of like going back through our trips and stuff that we've done over the years, and we've never gone during the spring. It's always been like late spring, early summer, but this is gonna be
Yeah.
like, excuse me, it's gonna be like beginning of April that we're looking at going next year. So it'll be there for the flower and garden festival at Epcot.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm told that when I'm going, unfortunately, it's a big cheerleader weekend of competition,
mhm.
and it's like,
Oh, go talk to BC about that.
I know. I was gonna message him. Well, you'll have to try to make it to Southern because starting May, it's the celebration of the 70th
Oh, right.
anniversary.
Yeah. And then and if you go in early December, that tends to be when the Pop Warner football and cheerleading stuff happens. And the reason we know that is because when my wife and I went down for our honeymoon, we were at Port Orleans Riverside, and that's one of the resorts for those of you listening in. And our hotel room was like surrounded by all these 8 to 12-year-old kids that were
Yeah.
just all there, and they had their signs and their banners and they were cheering. And I mean, luckily they were good kids, so like we weren't like disturbed or anything like that. But you know, it was just funny. Like it started from the moment we got on the plane too, because that's when we got on the plane, we looked around, it was like, there's a lot of kids on this plane. So that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I mean, Florida in June, yeah, I know it is humid, it's hot, but um
And a lot of the Canadians said that they're not going to go to Infocom because of one, the current situation.
okay.
Two, the exchange rate is so bad. I
Oh,
mean, for
really?
me, I loved it because there was such a big difference when I was doing my
Mhm.
expense report, excuse
Right.
me, of what in Canadian equal to the US's.
Mhm.
So, yeah, even a lot of them aren't traveling just because of the exchange rate.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I guess for Canadians to the US, it doesn't really make sense,
No, you'd
for
be
that.
losing out so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's unfortunate that that's what we're kind of yeah, we're dealing with that right now. But and I think there's even people here in the United States that won't travel to Florida just because it's Florida and because of how things are in that state in general too. So um I know a couple of friends of mine that were like, "Oh yeah, we would love to go, but we're not going to support that right now." I'm like all right, like,
Yeah,
but um
it is what it
it
is.
is what it is, exactly. So, so yeah. So I mean, I mean, I'm glad you had a great time at the road
Yeah,
show, Nancy. That's great.
yeah.
I'm
Got to meet a
glad.
lot of good folks.
That's and it makes me feel good that the organization's spreading out like that, and we're bringing in more folks from like Canada, and now Justin
Yeah.
is taking over there in the Europe area over that way, EMEA, that's right, and so HETMA's doing a great job of expanding and really getting their reach out there. Um,
And
so it's
here's
going
the
to be.
other thing, make
Mhm.
sure to emphasize, as I was told by Joe, it's all volunteers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're all volunteers. Like
All
no one
volunteers.
gets paid for what happens. We're all higher ed professionals ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I have my job at Rutgers and Joe has his at UCLA, and you know we got folks from smaller private universities and smaller public, large public. It's you got a nice cross section of everybody, and we have so many members, and there's so many opportunities to get involved. So please, we're all busy. We get it. But a little bit of time, if we spread it out among a lot of people, it makes it a little easier. And
Yeah.
even if you don't want to like chair a committee, you can just be a part of it. Just have an opinion, because that's what makes things work well. So
Do you know the count of members now in the US?
I do not. I'd have to go and see
I'm
what
interested
that.
to
Yeah, I
know.
don't. I'd have to. Well, Craig Underwood, our membership chair, would have those numbers if I had it. Um, but I have to get. I'll report back to you
Yes,
on
please.
that, and we'll give you what the most recent count is on that. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I know we are significant. Like and it grows and grows and grows. Hold on. What if I do this?
Well,
Hold
that's what
on.
Market George Brown and um, Patrick
Hmm.
is that they had reached out to the vendors and said, "Hey, can you guys also with all of your higher ed contacts invite them to the event. And so it spread because there
Mhm.
was 108 registrants. And when I saw Queen's University, that's up in Kingston, like that is like over a 3-hour, 4-hour drive.
Mhm.
Well, and they obviously did not come, but, probably at the time they thought, "Oh, that sounds really good." But they were spread out even to London, and
Oh, wow.
London is 45 minutes from my city that I grew up in, and it's about an hour. So, yeah, you're looking at another, good 2-hour drive,
Mhm.
but there was just because I know all those colleges and universities with growing up there that I was just really impressed to see the variety
Mm.
of higher ed, so
Yeah. That's
kudos.
yeah.
Kudos to those guys and to the team. There was Chris from University of Arizona and
Mhm.
Chris from University of Guelph and Patrick from Mohawk and Mark from George Brown.
Well, that's awesome. Um, so yeah, so keep an eye out for Troy's pig roast
Yeah,
roadshow coming up on July 11th, 7-Eleven. Oh, make sure you grab your Slurpee that day too. So
I didn't even think about that.
yeah, that's Troy should get on that. Get a 7-Eleven to sponsor Slurpees for everybody. They're giving them away for free anyhow. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so we'll be back in a couple soon. We're gonna take. I mean, it's not really not going to mean much to y'all as you hear these episodes, but we're gonna take the next week off. I'm gonna stay home and enjoy my birthday, and so that'll be my day to just kind of hang out and kind of give myself a personal reset right before summer kicks in and all that fun stuff. So. Um, So yeah, so here's oh, okay. Sorry. I got a message. I had to check that real quick. And so yeah, Nancy, thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Oh,
your report on the HETMA
yeah.
Roadshow from Toronto. And I definitely I'm ready for Infocom. I know it's 2 months away, but I'm ready. I'm ready to get down there and get walking and get to see everybody again. And seeing Alicia today was great because that kind of like it was that spark of, oh yeah, I'm about to get like more of this in 2 months, like getting to see everybody again. So that's I'm really looking forward to that. So and I hope that some of our listeners will stop by and say hi. There'll be there'll be opportunities to check in with us during the podcast just like usual. More information on that to follow, so keep an ear out for that. And if you haven't registered for Infocom yet, go there, use VIP code HETMA, HETMA, and you can register for your free exhibit floor pass from there. And yeah, hope to see you down there or hope to see you somewhere. If you're here in New Jersey, feel free to drop me a line and say hi. I'll, it's getting to be good weather time out here. So I'm looking forward to it. Uh, so yeah.
Awesome.
So Nancy, have a great evening for yourself.
Thanks. Thank you.
To
You
all of
too.
our listeners, thank you for listening in. And as always, until our next adventure.